Hello and welcome to the Sports Blog on the Greater STL Sports Network. Robert Bowlesby here with you. You can tweet me at RBowlesbyJR. You can tweet the Greater STL Sports Network at Greater STL SN. You can find us just about anywhere but Facebook, and that's going to change here. I promise you that's going to change. We're going to figure this out. But we're on YouTube. Having a little trouble getting the last one on YouTube. But the video randomly showed back up in my video, so it came in two videos for the YouTube people, so I might just put it up in two videos. How I've done it before would be a difference, but I'm on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're just about it. Stitcher, I seen the other day. Now, the funny thing about Facebook is it says that the page is still there. And if you follow me on Facebook, which I don't have Facebook anymore, the page has actually been gone for a while. And it wasn't deleted by me. Something happened on Facebook, because it still comes up on the Google searches, blah, 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 whatever it is. So we'll figure this out, but we're just about anywhere. You can hear us anywhere. Anchor, greatest thing, even though I've had trouble with Anchor a little bit too. The greatest app I've downloaded for this podcast. Sends it everywhere for me. I ain't got to go on Google Play to send it. I ain't got to get on. It's just great. it really put the podcast out there a little more. And I just been itching to do this podcast. Now, I was gonna do a blues one, and well, technology failed me there also. Like, I'm sitting there watching TV last night, and the TV just goes out, just goes black. I can't see the channels, I can't see the inputs, I can't see absolutely nothing. It's just black. I can hear it. I turned it all the way up. I bet my neighbors love that. But that's why at the beginning of the show we didn't have music, and because I don't have my PlayStation set up for a TV to where I could play music, and I was going to play a lot of audio from the blues, and I was going to play Gloria, of course, which we're still going to get to the podcast, and we're going to figure something out. And I'm using both the devices I have right now to do this podcast, so it's up on YouTube and it gets to everywhere else, so I have two copies of it just in case one messes up. So technology's really been bumming me out. I mean, I sat there and talked to my stepson Joey the other day, and he's doing his little gaming thing on YouTube just like every other kid there is. And he signed up for this thing called Streamlabs. Now, we sat on the phone for an hour. Now, I had people here at the time. We'll get into that story. We'll get into people's stories in a minute. But, I mean, I was on my phone. I was on my tablet. I was desktoping sites on Chrome. And we just couldn't figure it out. Like, technology's really bumming me out. Definitely on this podcast. But every time I ended up figuring it out. I figured out how to get to where it is now. I think it were twice on Google Play, so I figured that out too. It's a lot easier with the laptop. I always like having the laptop because I could hear myself talk when I had the headphones on. That's another thing that bums me out about this podcast, not having everything I need and putting money where it shouldn't go. But it's just been that kind of week for me. And yeah, blues thing's been great. God, a week since that. I mean, the coolest thing in your life, and then to see that parade and all that, which we'll talk about in the other podcast when I get the blues podcast. And which, if we got to do it a stupid way, we'll do it a stupid way tomorrow. I'll just have to record it on one of your devices and see what happens. Whatever I gotta do. But I think I did a podcast around the same time last year, a little bit before this. I think it was in May. I did a string of podcasts, and this is actually 2017, excuse me. In 2017, where I just did a string of podcasts just talking randomness. A whole one on religion, a whole one things I took for granted, and a whole one on the word no. And I still haven't learned that fucking word yet. And I think that it goes in my head. I need people around because I'm crazy to where I think I have to get things out. Well, I keep saying I have to get things out on this podcast and don't do it. I do a podcast every second of every day. But I'm starting to figure out that I'm not a big fan of the people I bring around. I'm a scavenger hunter. I hunt for scavengers. I think I find these people that maybe have it even the same or worse than me, and just try to help them out because I know the struggle. And I think I'm going to start every podcast off with the same fucking spiel. But I think with the people that I've helped out in the past, it kind of ruins it for other people because I'm not trustworthy. And the people I bring around aren't trustworthy. I'm not trustworthy of people, and they're just not trustworthy of what they do. And I'm just starting to figure out that it's like when I was talking to my dad the other day, I was like, I think I need to go to church or something, just something else, just with some with people around. I'll get it out somewhere fucking else because the people I bring around just stress me to the max. There's always things, and when you help other people with family, that's where you get to it. I have the kids with my mom. I ain't heard from her, and that's not her fault. That's blah blah. So it's all a story. If you know my life, you know the story. But it gets to a point. I'm at 32 years old. I have learned this shit, but it's getting to a point to where I've just given up. I'm trying to fuck with other people, and I think that's why I jump into relationships. I mean, we were talking about work the other day. I changed history. I had a girl's name. I got covered up with a blues, kind of a blues tattoo. It says St. Louis Blues with the arch in the background. It's something to cover it up. It's something though I don't have to see it. And I don't think I'm showing a video since I've gotten either tattoo. So the first one I'm glad you guys know about, but no. But I jumped in the relationship and stopped that podcast. I started the podcast originally was doing 3 a week because just trying to get shit off my brain. And I would see something like the religion story, which really got to me. Or I'd think about something and be like, man, I should talk about that on the podcast. It just gets me how people think. Like, it's usually do a favor, get a favor back, right? And you know with the people you help. You know the ones that you're going to do favors for and never get nothing back. But if them as your people, you keep doing the favors. And then you got people that you're doing favors for. Is hey, an eye for an eye here. Well, people's definition of an eye for an eye now is a whole lot different than mine. I mean, you could give somebody, let someone borrow hundreds of dollars, or hey, I got you on this 20 here, I got you getting this here at the store, or whatever. And like their comeback is when you're think you're down to a point where you need a favor, where you need to feel the friendship, the pat on the back, I guess. The eye for an eye. And their eye for an eye is I picked you up at Dollar General, you lived across the street, I took you on from there. Like, what the hell? I could have walked. What kind of... And thank you, I appreciate it. But when it comes down to the next fair, I think it should be a little more 50-50, you know what I'm saying? And people ain't 50-50. They think that 50-50 is their way of 50-50. And I'm just not going to do it. I'm at a point where I'm going to stop thinking about it else. I'm going to do me. I'm not going to go out here and beg for nothing. I'm not going to go out here and beg for love or forgiveness or even back out. I'm just going to go out and do me. And that's always gotten me something. Even with the craziness that jobs don't see or people don't see, it's always gotten me something. And I gotta learn to know where to know for myself, and that's being around other people and doing things that affect them because of other people or things that are in my head. Mostly in relationships. And I just gotta start telling people no. Because I'm in a situation where I can't help myself anymore. My boss is my landlord. So I can't fuck up either place. Or I'm fucked in either place. And I used to think that I was real big. And it said, God grant me the serenity to help the things that I cannot control. Well, I don't help myself with the things I can control. It's starting to actually get in my head that I don't help myself with the things that I can't control. And I've done it my whole life. I drug Amanda into a situation I could have controlled that I shouldn't have drugged her in. I drug Casey in a situation I couldn't have controlled because of my own brain power or my own loneliness or my own boredom, I guess. It's just stupid on my part. And my brain works different ways because when I'm drunk. Well, it definitely works different ways when there's drunken no weed. And and like they always say when you bring people around things that they used to they want to do, like drugs and stuff. I've never really been like that. I don't see meth in front of me and think I'm gonna go do a bunch of meth. Even if I've done it before. I never did heroin. I never seen heroin. It's like, let me try this for the first time. No, weed I can't count. Weed to me is a medicine. Weed definitely helps my brain. And mixing no weed with liquor is bad for me because I already think enough. And on liquor, I act like it helps because I'm not thinking about it, but I'm still doing it. Whether I don't know that I'm doing it or whether I do know that I'm doing it. And that's kind of crazy to me that I let myself get into these situations where I think I have to drink. And if I don't have marijuana, if I don't have liquor, I should be able to control myself in any way. It's my brain. Or then I should really go to rehab, back to rehab, or go do some cycle or whatever. And it took me shit to happen this week to really think that way. I mean, there's some of the stuff that people did to me this week. It's just mind blowing. People that I thought I was doing a favor for to get a favor back. Well, I can't do 10 in a row no more. I can't do 2 in a row anymore. That's why I'm not going to beg for nothing. I'm not going to help. I mean, if you can beg me, and we'll see where we're at in the situation. Because I'm not in that situation, except for with family. And I just, it really boggles my mind. And it's hard for me, and I wanted to say differentiate, but I know I can't say the word. I don't even know what I just said there. It's hard for me to separate real life from what I think is real life. Because you have your own thoughts and theories on how things should go, and I'm, for some reason, stuck in thinking that. And thinking, well, if I just keep going and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. No. I need to separate reality from the fake reality that I've created. And that's 99.9% on me. The other 1% is whatever the people have made me think or what I think about other people. I mean, when you got me to a point where I'm the guy who talked bad about religion and made fun of religion and all that on this podcast before, is thinking about going to church. I mean, god damn, there's a reality that I haven't faced yet, and to myself, that I'm only hurting myself. And in the situation that I'm in, with where I live and where I work and all that, the only person that can help me is gotta be a higher power at this point because I'm not helping myself with it. And it's just makes no sense that the backing's not there for me with, and family can only help you so much. And I think I said a couple weeks ago, it's like I would give up on myself too. I think I said some people probably giving up on me, but if I said it, I at least thought it. It's almost like I've given up on myself. I think that I need everybody else. I've been grown. I've had my own house. I've lost houses, multiple places that I've owned. I've lost cars. I've lost everything. And this is all because I can't say the fucking word no. And I had to sit there and think about it. And like I gave myself a day to not worry about it. But then I'm tripping off it today. I'm tripping off a little bit yesterday. I'm down at work tripping. And I'm thinking, what is wrong with you, dude? You're going to put yourself in a position to where you have no control over nothing. Where I'm not gonna have control where I live, where I work, or nothing. And that's fucked up to think about. You're doing it to your goddamn self. And maybe it's because the way my relationships have gone down with girls, and maybe I just think that, well, I need somebody around. And I've said it before, I probably do need somebody. I need a babysitter to tell somebody no, but I don't have that, so I got to learn. It's just I've been an eye for an eye type of guy. And I've always been a people pleaser. I've always been the person that says, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can help you. Well, when I'm at a point where I can't help myself, I gotta say no. No. When you're at the point where you're saying basically to everybody, don't ask me for shit because of other people, nah, I'm not that kind of person. But I have to be that kind of person in the situation that I'm in. And in a way, it pisses me off, but maybe in a way, it's a fantastic thing. Because now I know that I'm only fucking myself. And the stuff that's gonna happen if I don't scares me. Like I even say sometimes I'm scared of myself. I'm scared to be that myself sometimes. Because it's just in my brain, just because I have nothing to get it out to. And that's one of the reasons I got on Facebook, because I went on there and would rant and rave and do all kinds of shit and post random shit that made people think, like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Even if it was just me being stupid. But you get to a point where you got people fucking thinking that you're a fucking nutball because all the 5 things you posted before them. And I'm really not that kind of person. I mean, it's my thoughts and stuff, but I've never been the person to, like, put my thoughts down like that. Like in a public setting, I don't want people to think I'm fucking crazy. I definitely don't want everybody to fucking see it. And it more irritates me than anything that I've had to get to that point. Just even if I've done all these things and fucked up so many times and lost place, I've worked my ass off my whole life to get to where I'm at. And now I'm at a halfway decent point to where I shouldn't have to worry about anything. For myself, anyways. There's outside things, there's my kids, all that. So there's outside entities there. But I can't worry about that right now. My kids are fine. Everything's fine where they're at. But it's not like I'm gonna get them back where I'm living now. It's not like I'm not saying the city or nothing like that. I'm saying in a studio apartment. And I was talking to my dad about moving back towards Jeff County, trying to find a job out there. Seeing how long my dad wants. Like, we'll take a couple months of this job. You probably be able to swing an apartment somewhere, or something like that. And my thing's always move forward. Well, I gotta start not thinking ahead or thinking behind. Because I gotta live for me right now. Thinking about something that can happen 6 months from now is retarded. And I just do it just to try to make myself happy, make myself think of myself. Well, if I'm not happy right now, what makes you think it's going to get any better? So it's just like, I can't believe that I've gotten to this point. And it's scared me for a couple of days. I thought I was literally going to go be homeless and have to, like, beg somebody for something. I'm not doing that anymore. Because if I really wanted to do that, then I would just go live in a homeless shelter and beg on the streets and go beg on street corners and do that and do this and beg on the highways like my family is known to do. And I'm not that type of. I don't want to be that type. I work. That's what I do. I work. It sucks down here. I had another job set up and shit's flooded all over the place and they're not getting no business and then their pizza oven broke and I'm like, what? It's just my life at the time. But I'm good where I'm at. I survived. And that's the only way to think about it. It's like, hey, you're doing good. You're surviving. Unlike most other people. survival is not a thing that most people understand. But in the positions that I have put myself in, survival is the best thing for me. And I don't listen to when my dad says it and stuff like that. He's like, you're in survival mode. And I never thought about it that way. That's what I am right now. I'm in survival mode and I'm surviving. But I can't fuck it up for myself. And for some reason, I fuck it up for myself. And that's some this week that I'm thinking like that. I gave the Blues hat a little rest today. Got the Mizzou hat on. I've been working in that thing. I've been doing everything I could possibly do in that Blues hat since the start of the playoff. I've been watching, you get superstitious about stuff, but I didn't want to mess with it. This Mizzou hat's been hanging on the wall the whole time. Or in a basket or on my table. But it just gets moved because it falls off the hook on the wall sometimes. Or I think about wearing it, then I'm like, let's say probably ain't the good time to do this. Like on game 7 and the whole game, I went downstairs to get some, had some clothes down there, and I was gonna get something to eat. And I sat at the bar and was chatting a little bit, and I didn't move my seat once the game started. I was a little later than I thought, but that's how like a little bit superstitious everybody is. I didn't want to move my seat. And that's what made me kind of jumpy to do this podcast. It's about what happened. Like, man, I have to get this stuff out. Because then it makes you think about it. And I was going to start early. But the Cardinals got me, of course. I'm sitting there watching the game. And I'm like, I'm going to do the podcast right after the game. 9th inning. I sat down like the 7th. I'm like, all right, cool. And then, of course, Martinez comes in. They tie the game. Go to extra innings. I start cooking. I turn my space for a minute. And here in the 11th, there goes Paul Goldschmidt hitting a home run with 2 outs. I was like, well, I gotta make some food, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do that. So we're starting a little later than I want to. But some of the things that happen, it just gets to me, man. And I have to control the things that I can't control. It's ridiculous that I don't. It's ridiculous that I pass them things up to try to help people. But in the long run, it can't help themselves, and it definitely can't help me. How is another person that's in survival mode going to help a person that's in survival mode? They're not going to have a place for me to go. They're not going to have money for me when I don't have a job anymore. Like, what the fuck am I thinking? And I'm glad these situations happen to me. And, like, I'm just a people person, man. I'm just a people pleaser. I'm just a people helper. I got to stop doing it for scavengers. I got to stop doing it for motherfucking people that don't give a fuck about themselves. Because I obviously don't give a fuck about myself if I'm doing it for them. And I gotta start giving a fuck about myself. Well, I'm gonna lose everything that I have, and I have nothing to lose at this point, almost. Except surviving. And not being homeless, which is surviving. Other than that, I mean, how could you beat this week? Since last Wednesday. About a week and a half now, really. With the end of the weekend, because you got Pujols coming to town for his first time back, which I think is going to be a fun thing. I'm going to be sitting there Friday and I'm going to make sure I got that game going on. You're one of the greatest players in the history of your franchise is coming back for another team. Like, this should be like a celebration for him, definitely at the age he's at. This is a guy that should be celebrated. A guy that brought you 2 World Series championships. A guy that owns multiple records on your team. I mean, the guy's still breaking records with the Angels. And the Cardinals it's a team I don't get. And it's irritating, but that's something to look forward to from them. Because I can't figure out rookie pitchers yet. It's got to be 10 years, I feel like. This might not have been that long. At least 5. At least since, well, I mean, 2012 when Matheny was here. So 7 years. This is the same crap over and over again. And it's nice to get a win. They really needed that win tonight with Goldschmidt getting the walk-off home run. And the bullpen takes over again. I felt so bad for Daniel Ponce-de-Leon. He finally gets through 6 innings. He's got a chance to win the game. His first win in the major leagues, and there goes Carlos messing it up in the 8th inning, which on some weak hits. He had an easy line drive to right field. He had a broken bunt infield single, and then the next hit was another little softy to right field, and the guy scored because you had foulers on him, which made a good throw and almost got the guy. But you have to beat up on these bad teams because you ain't doing it against the good teams. I mean, that's Chicago. The 3 Chicago series is just pissed me off. The first one and the third one, really. But you're like, man, look how good they played against the Cubs for 3 games, and they come back and they get swept the game. They've been up and down against the Marlins. The Marlins. I mean, God. And I think at one point tonight, Dan McLaughlin said they were 1 for like the last, or 2 for the last 52 or something, 103 average or something, just nutballish. And when you get good pitching, this team can't hit. When you get good hitting, this team can't pitch. And actually, the last 3 or 4 games, you haven't gotten either. Until Ponce-de-Leon, you had Walk out there getting lit up. So it's still just disappointing from the way that they started, the way the people kind of thought about it. Now, I said they needed another pitcher. And they're always saying, oh, look, when Reyes comes back, it's like getting an all-star. Carlos in the bullpen. Well, you needed something else. You needed at least another guy to go out there and dominate later in the games because I don't think Hicks is that trustworthy. And you probably needed another starter just in case somebody faltered. And now you got almost everybody faltered. And then Wainwright gets in here. And I still don't understand the Colt Long thing at all times. I like seeing it with the Cardinals. They're trying to. Tommy Edmonds getting a lot of play. You see him bring up the guy Ravallo. They played 900 or something, 880 or 38. I think it was Jose played 81, and he played 838 minor league games. So you're trying something different, and that's good to see from him because there's got to be something going on. And even and people want to go back. Well, look at Piscotty and look at. Well, you're past that point. You can't look at the past. I said it about myself. You can't. You had to focus on the right now, and the Cardinals didn't do that. They just kind of gave in and said, "This is what we're going to go with, and this is going to work." Now they've had the best record in the Central since the end of May, and you're still 3 games back. With the Brewers losing the day, you gain a game on them. So you're still right there because this division hasn't really been that good. And that's what kind of sucks about it too is at this point you're in a division that's not all that great. And you're still struggling and you're still not making a difference. You're still throwing the same guys out there. And they've kind of switched it up. They throw Martinez out there a little bit more. But now Bader's getting a lot of play again. It's like they're like, well, Martinez did halfway decent. Let's go back to Bader first because he's fast and he can play the outfield better. At this point, defense hasn't been the worst thing. It's been producing on the offensive side. And they're at a point where I don't know what they're going to do with the pitching. Because there's no one person to really look forward to down in the minors except maybe Reyes to start. You can think about Martinez coming back and starting, but then that kind of takes something out of your bullpen that you need. I mean, you're kind of effed on the pitching. And there's a couple guys that they like. They like Austin Warner. But that's a solution where you're in the middle of June, and you shouldn't have to be thinking about that. And people always say, well, at the All-Star break, you really know what the team you got. Well, I can tell you, I can see the team we got right now. It hasn't been good. You can play great defense, but if you don't score runs and your pitchers don't get the balls to your defense, I mean, look at Michaelis with the home runs. You're just, and they have to, if they don't do something different next year, I mean, you could be seeing this for a few more years down the road. Definitely they keep bringing up contracts with Goldschmidt. They keep bringing up money with Carpenter, and we've got money tied here, and we got money tied with this position. I think whenever Jericho comes back, they have to make a different move in that situation. I think that Tommy Edman should be getting a lot more playing time there. I think you maybe think about playing a little less Carpenter and playing a little more Jericho. Jericho could play at second too. Carpenter still don't get why he can't play the outfield. And that takes a hit that bats away from Martinez. That takes a bats away from Fowler, who's up and down, which I don't mind taking a bats from him. But the contract, the money that they got tied in. So at every position you have tied money into, or the people that actually produce, and the places you have question marks in this situation, you can't really just throw random guys in there. It's going to be hard to give Tommy Edman a chance. It's going to be hard to see what Jed Jericho can do on a consistent basis because of what you have tied into this team. I mean, Wong, great as a defensive replacement. Do you really want? And I can't remember exactly what his contract was. I thought it was 6 for 55. But do you want a $9 million player playing at 7th through the 9th inning, and that's all he's going to play, and maybe get one at bat again? You put question marks on yourself off of trying to keep the players in your system that you want to mature and grow to make yourselves look better, because of all those analytics and stuff you put into them. We know what people know. You've done it backwards. Obviously. Oh, we get the tied up years, and we get them a few years after that. Well, you're signing them, these players, in their early years. I mean, you almost should wait till that last year. For 3 or 4 years, you know what you got. And I think you've seen that with Wong. Carpenter's up and down. In the long run, you're probably going to see him batting probably 270, 275 with whatever, 20 to 30 home runs, and I would say 70 to 90 RBIs because of the position they put him in the leadoff spot. But you kind of know what you're going to get. And I think a lot of assumptions have been made on what you have that just aren't there. And I keep saying this because Mozeliak just wants to think that he's smarter than everybody else. And I don't get that. I guess he wants to be the Billy Bean of the National League. The Theo Epstein that turned the Cubs around. The guy that turned the Astros around. But you're not in that position to do that with the players you have. I mean, I've already started looking ahead almost on this season. I mean, how long till Gorman comes up? How long till you see what you got out of a guy like Garcia? And there's probably 5 down there at this point. So Adolphus Garcia or Dulles or whatever his name is. I mean, a guy like Munoz that can play the outfield was getting a little more here and there as time went on. But he could play every position on the field. That's a guy that you need to give a shot to. Because you got Paul DeYoung. He stays. And you could put him at 3 different positions. I think he would do just fine at it. Second, short, or third. A guy like Gorman coming up, who's your second baseman. So I think you're at a point to where you got to see what some of these young players could do, because what you got and what you tied money into, except for Goldschmidt, isn't really working. This goes pitching too with Michaelis, relying on Flaherty, who's having a down season. Dakota Hudson, who's looked better of late, but still was having a down season, starting to turn that back around. You didn't exhaust none of your options. You just took what you had and said we're going to roll with it. And I think I don't think that's the way to go into a season and look at it. And to go out there and say, we did this with Miller and Goldschmidt, well, you needed more. You still don't have a guy, your best player, as of right now, signed with Ozuna. And believe me, I'm not trying to bash the Cardinals. I want this team to succeed. And I think I was a little more fair with them in the beginning of these podcasts. And now over the years, I'm not making the playoffs and all that. Now I'm kind of down. So tonight it's good to see them get a win like that when they needed it. And they came through in the end. And poor Daniel Ponce de Leon couldn't get his name out there for a second. But you're kind of looking at maybe what people start saying is a downfall for this team, where maybe this team goes into a downfall wasn't trying to go out there and actually lose, but maybe it's almost good for them, because maybe now you know that, hey, we're in rebuilding stage and we didn't know it. So now we're going to have to see what we got. But it's a big one. Tonight's a big one. To get that out, to get that win, to gut it out. Hicks came in and looked good. John Gant has 7 wins on the year. John Gant is the Jordan Bento of St. Louis Cardinals right now. He has saved us in every situation that we needed him to come in and save us. 7 wins for a reliever. And looked good again tonight. Well, St. Louis also had another big win tonight, as for the second week in a row, St. Louis FC beat a MLS team. Last week it was the Chicago Fire. This week it's FC Cincinnati. Now, FC Cincinnati was in the USL, which St. Louis FC plays in, and they're not having a fun time. I think they were 3-11 and something. That's it. St. Louis FC, they were 5-4 or 5-3 4, 5-4 4. When I checked on their standings today. And the USL kind of messed me up, because I was like, it's such USL championship. I'm like, they're already in the championship rounds of soccer. Then I'm looking around and I'm like, well, damn, does the championship rounds go to August? But they call it the USL championship now, so I was all confused. But they play these teams in the US Open Cup, and I think that they get next year's champions in Atlanta the next round. I think I seen that, but I didn't see nothing tonight when I was reading about it. I seen the St. Louis guy, Sam Fink, get a goal for the winner in the 93rd minute. I mean, this is just getting good for St. Louis in this spot. Whether you're playing a crappy MLS team or not, you're beating MLS teams, and you're supposed to be the minor leagues of that division. And for a team, just for a city, and it's trying to get a soccer team, for a team that's been struggling a little bit here late, and just for the city in general, this is just something different. And I don't know, and they had, I think, 4,500 at Lindenwood last week, and I was kind of hoping that they would play this game at Lindenwood just to see how many they get. They played in Finland, of course, so they probably sold it out for close to 4,500. But I kind of see if they would fill up that 7,000 in Lindenwood, playing for the second week in a row, getting to play a US or MLS team after they just beat Chicago in one, which you kind of think that would, I know soccer's not the biggest thing around here. Definitely with hockey going on and all that, but you kind of thought they would get a bigger crowd playing Chicago. Definitely MLS team in Chicago, the little USL, but you never knew what was going to happen. They could have went out and lost 5-0, so might have been a waste of time. Now they're going to have their third chance at a MLS team this week. And that's after they have to play a USL game on Saturday. And it's just something that's looking up for St. Louis definitely in the soccer towns. I mean, that's to me that's big. I don't know, and it's been harder for me to get into soccer than it was to get into hockey. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan until I went to a game in 2016. I went to a game and was like, wow, this is pretty effing cool. But I mean, I've kind of embraced a little soccer thing. I watched a little soccer, and I, I watched a lot of USL games when I was doing the hometown rundown. But you just gotta think that the Jim Cavanaughs in the world and stuff like that gotta just be jumping in their boots right now. I mean, they just gotta be just celebrating this at every moment and chance they get. Number one, they never made it far in this tournament before. They're down to they're in the round of 16. I think they move on to the round of 8 after this. And you beat back to back. And I mean, they got for the people trying to bring the team here. I mean, this has to be effing amazing. And they go out here and get an MLS team and keep these games close. I mean, 0-0 for 93 minutes against an MLS team. I don't care who you are. I don't care if they have a better division than the MLS. I mean, how could you think that this ain't a big thing that there's this team to go out here and beat two MLS teams in a row? I mean, to me, it's a major thing. Definitely for the people that want soccer in the city. I mean, if you can just have something else good go on, I mean, you could maybe turn the city around. I mean, just think if the Cardinals pick it up, and then you got MLS come out here and say, hey, you got a team, or they go out here next week and be another MLS team. I mean, just think of a city that needs something to look forward to that all of a sudden has it. I mean, you didn't hear about nothing with the after the championship game in downtown St. Louis, after the Stanley Cup, excuse me. You didn't hear nothing about it. What happened at the parade? You had people getting shot at the Toronto NBA one. I mean, and you haven't really heard nothing going bad. And I mean, it's probably an easy time to get past the bad stuff when you got the Blues doing what they did. And like I said, the Cardinals, I talked about them for a little bit, maybe 15 minutes or so, but I mean, that's something I'm not going to jump big on for another probably month or so. I'm going to let them get far enough through the season where I can say I'm giving up. I've already said I'm looking forward towards the future a little bit on that, but I'm not totally giving up yet because they can turn it around. Just think of this as the turnaround for St. Louis FC at the time we were trying to get an MLS team. You go out here and you actually have a chance to go play deep and win a championship in the USL. You're going deep in the Open Cup tournament against MLS teams. I mean, this has to be a big thing for St. Louis. To me, just as a sports person. But it has to be look good for city officials. It has to look good for the Jim Cavanaughs in the world, Tom Stillman of the world. Tom Stillman announcing right today, in a week after they won a Stanley Cup, that his team his ownership group bought 100% of the team. So it's a St. Louis owned team owned by people that love the sport. I mean, you could have a revitalization of the city. Revitalization of the city? Did I say that right? I probably didn't say it right the first time. I mean, this is probably going to have a lot of people want to invest in the Blues. For a team that's won a Stanley Cup, you're going to get a lot more airtime next year on all the NBC games. That's going to bring sponsors in. You hope it brings more upgrades or maybe even a rebuild of the Scott Trade Center. I mean, this could mean different things for everybody. It starts with the Blues with the Stanley Cup. It starts with MLS or St. Louis FC beating MLS team. Just starts with maybe the Cardinals turning it around. I mean, St. Louis sports has been fun. I mean, it kind of sucks that I had a rough week because I probably had a little more fun this week. But it's kind of fun to St. Louis sports. Definitely, like tonight, you just kind of get over the Cardinals, but then you sit there watching it tonight, you see a walk-off home run. I mean, that's kind of fun to me. So, St. Louis FC, big win tonight. Going to move on to the next round. Play, I think, Louisville City FC on Saturday and USL play, and I'm pretty sure it's the former champs of the MLS, Atlanta, next round of the US Open Cup. So just, I mean, get in the soccer, people. Watch this. I mean, this would be fun if they can go out there and beat another MLS team. All right, now we messed it up last week. I made sure I wrote it down a whole lot better. But let's go on to weird news. A passenger on a UK-Pakistan flight a passenger on a UK to Pakistan flight at Manchester Airport caused several delays after opening the emergency door in an attempt to reach the bathroom while the plane was still on the ground. PIA Flight 702 was due to fly from Manchester, UK to Islamabad, Pakistan, but suffered a delay of 7 hours according to the airline. 40 passengers were offloaded following the incident, during which the exit slide deployed automatically, PIN said in a statement. In May, an elderly passenger was arrested and detained in Shandong for endangering the safety of the aircraft after he tried to open an emergency door on a grounded plane. An apparent tip to the Kuwait to disembarkment, the passenger opened an emergency door near his seat after the plane landed. In February 2018, one of the emergency exit doors fell off a Dana Airplanes flight that landed in Nigeria. This is why I don't fly on planes. People fucking with the emergency door. One fell off. Now, this other guy got it open the emergency door in China. I ain't fucking around in China. You're not whipping me with no motherfucking whip 200 times and put me in Chinese jail. You got me fucked up. And you see some of that shit. I remember watching that Girl movie where the two girls were trafficking dope. That looks like some scary shit. And then the guy that got the American that got beat 100 times for defaming some property, and I don't think that was in China, but wherever the fuck it was, close enough. You ain't striking me with shit. I'm not going to China. I'm never flying a plane. If a motherfucker can open an emergency door, I don't care if the plane's landed. I don't care if the plane ain't moved for 15 hours. If you can open an emergency door in a plane, I'm not fucking with you. And this one in motherfucking Nigeria just falls off. No, nah, I'm cool. I like living. I would need one of them bags. Like the whole time. But just to breathe. Like, oh, once you get it, you're so nervous that you fall asleep with your life. No, not when I'm thinking about the emergency door falling off. Y'all better, I'll walk. I'm not flying. See, and crazy people messing with the emergency. I'm pretty sure the emergency door on an airplane says emergency door. And I don't think that many people on airplanes are ever told, like, hey, you can open the door. And that's kind of what flight attendants are for, aren't they? But I don't give a fuck. This is what makes me stop me from flying. Say what you want, call me pussy, whatever. I don't care. Never. Just never gonna do it. I don't care. I'll drive. I'll call Uber. Uber likes taking people places. Because there was a story a while back where a guy put in a request to go somewhere, and the guy thought it was the same city in the same state. We ended up driving the guy like 1,100 miles to where we had to go. Something crazy. So, I mean, Uber's down. Moving on from Fox News. Usually when you buy a used car, you get the title from the owner, but a 68 Ford Mustang GT was recently sold with the previous owner included. His earthly remains, at least. According to an account posted to the Mustang fan club, the rusty car had been sitting in a Florida barn since the 1970s, when its owner passed away a few years ago. His best friend asked the family if he could buy it from them. They agreed. He moved it with him to North Carolina. Unable to get around to fixing it, he decided to put it up for sale on Craigslist, where it was spotted by a Georgia car collector. When the collector went to check the car, he noticed a jar full of ash inside and asked what it was. He was told it was the cremated remains of the original owner, and he can have them with the car to keep them together. You should have seen my face there. The collector purchased the car for around $7,000. but later decided it was too far gone and put it back on Craigslist, where it recently sold to a car restoration shop in the UK for $23,000. The purchaser of Corner Classics, where the owner says he may figure out a way to work the ashes of the owner into the chassis so the original owner can remain with the car forever. I I don't know what to say to this. I really don't. I don't know if I could buy that car knowing that there's some guy's ashes in it. So, and the chassis, that sounds like, he's gonna put it like in the motor or maybe in like box it inside this. Like the only thing I could actually think to do was maybe put it in the paint, just kind of spray it over. It kind of has that like, where your ceilings, but they do cars weird. But to take the ashes in the first place, for any of the three to take the ashes in the first place, this can seem kind of weird to me. Now the guy in Georgia, genius. He won and tripled his money. How could you beat that? Yeah. Okay, take whatever you want. Take the ashes. Give me 23 grand for no reason. I seen the car. Car's fucked up. That guy said he'd get an original body or a new custom built body. And I seen the ashes too. Kind of looks like garlic powder. It didn't look like real ashes, but still, I don't know if I would. Like, hey, you gotta buy this car, but you gotta take the ashes of the previous owner with it. For our next story, now I seen this on STL today, but I guess you guys just once you read so many stories, you guys subscribe to STL today. So I didn't get to read the whole story on STL today. Go to Fox News. I don't know what happened there. Right? So I ended up getting the story from NBC News. But I digress. I like saying I digress. So from NBC News, I seen on STL today, an Alabama man wanted on drug and gun charges, who authorities said kept an attack squirrel in his apartment, denied allegations that he fed the squirrel meth to keep it aggressive. Narcotics investigators arrested one man and are looking for another. They executed a search warrant that yielded meth, drug paraphernalia, body armor, and a squirrel, said the sheriff's office. Investigators searched the apartment after getting a tip that Mickey Plank was keeping a meth-fueled attack squirrel at his residence. Pollock, still wanted of multiple drug and gun charges, appeared on Facebook in a video and said he was no longer living at the residence that was raided, but when he went there after the search, whistled and the squirrel settled on his shoulder. In the video, Polly acknowledged that the squirrel is aggressive and has bitten people, but denied it was trained for attack. He wrote on Facebook that he's been bitten by feeding the animal since it was hours old and raising it like his own. He doesn't know how to live in the wild, so all they did was try to kill him. Pollock said he was a little shook by the whole incident. And this just sounds like some meth head shit, like for real. Number one, you're keeping a squirrel. Number two, someone says you're feeding meth to the squirrel and training it to attack. And then he's like, oh yeah, it's bitten some people. It's okay. And then you go back to a residence that you know that you wanted on charges at and look for this fucking squirrel. This is meth 101 to me. Like, what in the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? I mean, the whole beginning of the show, the whole first 20-something minutes, started off, what the hell is wrong with people? What the hell is wrong with people? That'd be kind of cool. That's a good movie, man. Oh, we gotta write this, the meth head squirrel. It'd be like something like Kino or something. We train squirrels to run around and just fight crime. You gotta do meth to do it. I like my movie thing. I want to do that sometime. We can start making like random videos. Like we'll have to come up with just for fun. I wouldn't do it. I'm too lazy to do this podcast, much less do random stupid shit. I do that on my own without y'all recording it. Y'all seen enough of it. Alright, moving on to our town. This is from MyLeaderPaper.com. A 41-year-old Rican man was left with a broken jaw after a fight erupted during a billiards tournament at a High Ridge bar. A 30-year-old Peavey man allegedly punched the victim in the face, causing an injury, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office reported. The Rican man told investigators he was attacked because he's a better billiards player. Witnesses said the Peavey man became angry after he lost his spot in the tournament. I actually wrote down witnesses said twice. So, anyways, witnesses said the man became angry at losing his spot determinant, and when bar staff told the suspect to leave, he threw his pew cue several times and left the business. The Peasley man also allegedly used his closed fist to strike the victim several times in the face, causing him to fall to the ground and sustain a head injury as well as his fractured jaw, the report said. The sheriff's office said the attacker has not been arrested and an investigation is still underway. So far, we've been doing pretty good, right? I'm reading. And this is what liquor gets you. Get you wanting to fight. And I can see something like this. 34, that's kind of millennial shit. I'm going to toss my spot in the tournament. Man, I'm going to fight. Because you kind of grew up in that era when you're my age. You kind of grew up where everything was a fight. Anything was a fight. And now you got this people fighting over a pool game and a tournament. Like, you know that you're not going to, like, there's always something better than you or something. I don't go out, like, if I go out there, like, I think that I'm in a tournament, like poker. I play a lot of poker when I was young. I hardly ever thought that, like I had a chance to win, but when I got knocked out, I was like, hey, you know, it's poker. You know, it's the luck of the cards. I mean, just same thing with pool. You can be the greatest person in the pool, but one bounce goes your wrong way, that guy can shut down the table. But let's fight over it. I'm sure. That 41-year-old saying, well, the guy got mad because I'm a better pool player than him. Get the fuck out of here. Like, that's just some funny stuff. Okay. I mean, this stuff just makes me laugh. And the last one from SDLtoday.com. Oh, I got one story yet. Never mind. Okay. So I guess this, I don't know. A Charlotte man stole a gun from an acquaintance car in St. Louis, then posted pictures of himself with the gun on Facebook, federal charges say. The Masterpiece Arms 9mm and its 30-round magazine were stolen from a Mercedes parked at a St. Louis business, charging documents say. Alexander had commented before on the gun, and after the theft, his acquaintance reviewed surveillance cameras and saw Alexander park his car next to the Mercedes and break in, charges say. The gun owner checked Facebook where he spotted a picture that Alexander had posted of himself with the stolen gun, charging documents say. Police raided Alexander's home and found the Masterpiece Arms gun, another stolen gun, a ski mask, and what appeared to be cocaine and fentanyl, the charges say. Alexander was charged by a complaint in the U.S. District Court St. Louis, Missouri, with being a felon in possession of a firearm, plus multiple drug and gun charges. He faced similar charges in the St. Louis Circuit Court related to the incident. Now, this motherfucker's going to get charged with 6 different crimes in 2 places. And you're going to jail because you're a felon in possession of a firearm. Like, what made you think possession of and then posted on Facebook, you're a felon with a firearm on Facebook. Like, where the cops can see, everybody can see one person typing your name. The cops typing your name one time, you're fucked. And we're okay with it. I'm an idiot. I'm fucked up. And then the gun that you stole, you've talked about before. What really scared me on this is that the gun has a 9mm pistol has a 30-round magazine. That's kind of some scary shit if you really think about it. I mean, it's 30 rounds that could blow up at you at any point. But, I mean, these people are stupid. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? The fuck is wrong with a felon with a gun on Facebook? We made it, people, without me getting pissy. That's weird news. Alright. Well, this is something I don't like talking about. I don't talk about it on this show too much. But our best friend, Josh Hawley, who I don't think I got to talk about much on this show, said that we need to learn from the past. Because there's going to be a hearing on what they're calling the Lessons from the Mueller Report, Presidential Obstruction, and other crimes. And they're going to run Watergate stuff in there too, about impeachment and stuff like that from when Reagan left before they got impeached. Because in the Mueller report, it said that Donald Trump, there was 10 instances in which Donald Trump may have constituted obstruction. Now, Josh Hawley said, well, it's just a waste of money. Why are we looking into the past? It was before I was born. So let's start off with that statement. So basically what Josh Hawley is saying is that the schools are fucked up, right? Our kids are they're learning the schools for no apparent reason. Which is why review the past? I mean, these are people that y'all put in. I didn't vote. I don't vote. I think I've said on the show I wouldn't have voted for Hillary. I would have voted for Trump no matter what. Just because of what Hillary did and just some of the stuff she said. And you could see a guy like Donald Trump really getting there and making a difference. Now, has he? Eh. He's helped with money with minimum wage. Income taxes, we kind of got fucked on that, which I don't get income taxes because of student loans, so it really doesn't matter to me. But this guy is just a fucking nutball. I mean, he just says the stupidest shit all the time. He's just not very bright. And you know why? Because these are people that get in there and say they're going to help us. And the last three main elected officials that we can remember, really four, with Blunt. So Blunt, McCaskill, Greitens, and now Hawley are really just like trying to get their way to get in the White House. And this is the kind of politicians we hire. That we elect. But just think about this. I mean, just if you really think about it. I mean, and I would be on his side if he said some of the other stuff that the kids are learning. I mean, my kid was learning Japanese math. I mean, I remember me and Jacob sitting at the table, and I'm good at math. That's the only class that I passed in high school. Not that I tried too hard to pass any other classes in high school, but I knew I could do math. I knew I would run right through it. So hey, why not? So like, if he would have said, hey, we probably don't need to be learning Japanese math in our school. Great, because I'm not Japanese. But he said we don't need to be learning the past in the White House. So just think if he would have, like, he's basically telling that the schools are stupid. No, he said, I mean, and he said crap like this before. He said something about with the sex trafficking. Like it's all because of the millennials and the sexual revolution. No, this stuff's been revolution. It's like if you call it a revolution, something like that. But this stuff's been going on for years. So, talking about the past has been going on for years. Like the reason the past is around is so you can learn from mistakes. I'm thankful for the past at this point. I'm thankful for the past week of some of the stuff I learned. And this isn't something that he can retract. This is something he went on Fox News and said. Which, thankful for Fox News, they give us a lot of weird news. But holy cow, and this is why I don't talk politics. It doesn't. It's just not stupid. It's just not something good to talk about. And like it's funny that people want to talk about it. Like people have their own opinions about it now. Everybody does. Like even down at work sometimes, like people are wanting to, and like, oh, Trump did this today, or did you see what Trump did? Man, that was awesome. Yeah, he might say some of the stupidest stuff on Twitter, but look how he's getting through it. No, I don't want to talk about it. It's all a game. Because every 8 years we're changing. Oh, like, well, Trump didn't run 8 years, so he's gone. Or after 8 years, so we're going Democrat. I mean, if you can just look down the line, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump. I guarantee if Trump gets reelected next go around, that it's going to be a Democrat after that 4 years. Hopefully not Hillary. Anybody else but Hillary. Yeah, anybody but Hillary. I mean, I've heard that slogan before, and that should be the slogan of the nation. Anybody but Pelosi or Hillary. I mean, Pelosi's one of the worst. And I'm not going to get into it. I'm just not going to get into it. But for somebody to say that, and with kids with the internet now, I mean, you could really take that out of context very easily. And he said it right down to you. Oh, man. It's just, some people get me, man. I just don't get it. And it's kind of like the same thing with this Planned Parenthood shit. Well, they get a big court that they can run their little thing and wherever. I think it's down in the city, whatever. It's an abortion clinic. I never understood the name until today when I planned Parenthood. So you're basically planning when you decide to be a parent. Which I'm not two ways on abortion or not. But either way. I see it's good, I see the bad in it. I've used it before. I was in a situation where I didn't think I needed to have kids, where I'm living in my parents' basement. I already had a kid, and she already had a kid. Now, if we didn't have Maddie, man, I would feel god awful about it. Because I could have took her girl away. And she had a miscarriage before. Now you got a judge in the state's trying to get the St. Louis judge to rescind that judgment that they can run their abortion clinic. And they fight it, and they're saying all kinds of stuff, and some of the stuff their lawyer said was nuts. They basically called the state unethical. This is what the guy said when they won. His exact words were, "It's a great day and a huge victory." When you win something like that, it's kind of dirty. You gotta have a heart and just be like, "Hey, we won. We're gonna run our business the same way we had before. We'll try to appease the people as the best we can." No, he said it's a huge victory. That's thinking. This guy that's out here having abortions, letting abortions happen, just running the show, an abortion clinic, said this. What? Do you have no brain power? Or do you not have a heart? Do you just not give a fuck about people? Do you just not think about things before you say them? Because I'm telling you, if I'm the lawyer, I'm the guy that runs Planned Parenthood. When that happened, they held a press conference. They held a press conference after the ruling. No, I'm not doing it. When the reporters come ask me, read the judgment, we'll go from there. I'll try to please the people, blah blah blah. And abortion sometimes can be a necessary thing with rape. God, what is that other politician call it? Some of the politicians are so stupid. Consensual rape, oh my god, ain't that the stupidest fucking thing you ever heard? And it's also good for people that know they're in bad situations like I was, that wasn't in the place to have a kid, or maybe you're a drug parent, whatever it is. You get to make your own decisions. And if that's one thing you can make a decision on, then let it be. I understand them fighting for it. But to come out there and now I wish the place would shut down. Or at least hire somebody else. And nobody read that and said, wow, that guy should be fired. That's the first thing I thought. You gotta hire somebody else. This guy isn't smart enough to run anything. He's not smart enough to run the ice cream stand. It'd be like the ice cream stand saying, "Oh, I want to serve shit-ass ice cream. It's not real ice cream, but I want to serve it. I know it's a health hazard or something like that." And then when it's saying, "Oh, I'm so glad I get to kill people." That's basically what was said. It's a huge victory on a day for me because I get to kill babies. That's a bad way to put it, and there's better ways to word it. But huge victory and great day. If I heard that, I would have went right at him too. If I was the state, I would have went right at him, and I would have thought, and that's the first thing I would have put in there. Did you hear what this motherfucker said? And it's just crazy. It's just crazy to think about. That people can actually, in their right mind, have no heart. Now, if we find out this guy's getting high or drunk, it wouldn't surprise me none, or something like that. But just wow. And I put that on Twitter. Sometimes you gotta take victories and be quiet about it. You gotta take the victory and run. It's kind of like in wrestling. When they get that roll-up pin and they hold the shorts and then they jump out of the ring and run away. You gotta take that victory and run. No, let's hold fucking news conference. We'll go back to sports. I don't know how to. I really don't know how to. You almost just hey, you get to kill people. So that's gonna do. I haven't got to talk much because, since really since it's been out here that the St. Louis is in the XFL team. And I kind of want to talk about it a little bit. I kind of, now you go look and see it now. You're almost kind of glad that the Rams had dates covered up for the AFL debacle. Just think if you're a city that doesn't have an NFL team. There were cities out here, Birmingham, Alabama. Just to think of one off the top of my head. I think there was a Utah team in Salt Lake. But you're almost kind of glad that the Rams had it. The Rams. Fuck the Rams. Fuck the Rams Weekly. We need to get that going back again. Oh, yeah. Fuck the Rams Weekly. Let's talk that before. Hey, fuck the Rams Weekly. Seen a meme on there to say we traded one stand for a better stand. Stanley Cup for Stan Kroenke. There you go with Fuck the Rams Weekly. I need to bring that back. That's going to come back on this football show. It's going to become a two-sport show. We're going to do basketball and football since we don't have a football team now. And maybe when the XFL comes, we'll throw the XFL in there a lot more. Maybe not just do it on this. Maybe just do it on my podcast instead of doing it on this one. It depends. It depends on how much I want to get into this. Because I've always wanted to do more podcasts. I've always wanted to do a bunch of podcasts. I just kind of want other people to be involved. I can't sit here and do 5 podcasts by myself. Like I said, I've always wanted to create this into a real network. But anyways. So you're kind of glad that the Rams, I said it again, that the Dome has some dates lined up to where we could get a play for the AAF stuff. Because if you read about that, I mean, they had a shady investors, a guy this money just kept coming out of the blue and said he was giving this, but he could only give this at a certain times. And Charlie Ebersol basically trying to run almost seamlessly a Ponzi scheme by just calling investors and trying to get money here and there. You got Tom Dundee putting $200-something million in it, then figuring out that, hey, this is probably a bad investment, let's pull the plug. Charlie Ebersol getting a paycheck of $14,000 when the league folded. So it just kind of sounds like just a crazy situation with no money. Well, you know Vince McMahon has money. But what I worry about with the XFL to start off, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the XFL in St. Louis, is that St. Louis is one of these only cities that don't have an NFL team in here, at least in our state. They got 2 in Texas, which already has NFL teams. You got a team in Orlando, even though Orlando doesn't have an NFL team, you still have Jacksonville and Tampa Bay. And you have one in New York. And I think there's one in Oklahoma, which doesn't have an NFL team, but there's only 2 or 3 there. And I think that's a hard, even though you're getting to big cities and you're putting teams in big cities, teams that can sport, do you really think that like a team like Dallas really wants to go straight from the Super Bowl, would switch from the NFL, even though I'm using a bad example, the Cowboys, who never make the playoffs. Haha, Cowboys joke. Not a hater for Cowboys at all. But what I'm saying is, don't you think it's going to be hard to garner fans that already spent their hard-earned money on NFL games? They're going to cost a lot more. And you really want to see the real thing. You're going to go out here and spend money on XFL things. Now, it's a thought to think about. That, hey, maybe if we have cheap enough prices and make it more family-friendly and have a lot more things going on and have a different style game. You've seen something with them saying that they're going to have a 25-second play clock. Thinking about putting microphones in all the helmets so they can have plays that run faster and stuff like that. So you're seeing they're trying something different. They're trying these things out in the spring league. But I just, it's hard for me to see them surviving in cities that people are already spending their hard-earned money on NFL football. Now it's different when like St. Louis, like it's something that could be created here, definitely in February, and it kind of runs. It's going to run with 10 games, so it's going to be done in March. It's going to be right at the end of the blue season. You're getting in the beginning of the Cardinal season. If MLS comes here, there's another fight for you. It's just hard to see how it can be profitable in cities that already have multiple major sports teams and definitely NFL teams. And you kind of think that they can almost start off the wrong foot in St. Louis with hiring Jonathan Hayes. He's not a St. Louis Rams guy. He's not a St. Louis Cardinals guy. I wish they hired a couple of them. But he's not a guy that's known. You had Bob Stoops got hired. You have a guy like his name was uh, Jim Thorne in Seattle, who's a big known guy in Seattle. You have a guy and Kevin Gilbride in New York, who was a big name during the Eli Manning runs as the offensive coordinator for the Giants. And then in St. Louis, you bring in Jonathan Hayes. I think you're kind of going backwards in a situation that you're already kind of starting the back foot. Even with the money that they have, the money they can invest, even with the $500 million for the startup, and saying that you are going to run it 3 years and you're probably not going to garner a lot of profit, but you're going to turn into something in 3 years. Now maybe Jonathan Hayes is just, hey, this is a guy that we really liked and we wanted to give him a chance and blah, blah, blah. And they're maybe thinking that later down the road they can more get in the hearts of St. Louis people by hiring somebody else if the team struggles and stuff like that. And you see, hey, well, maybe, then we're not in the hearts of St. Louis fans yet. Let's try to build something. Let's try to get a guy that we know that can maybe get to the players and maybe develop players. Maybe let's get that guy and make something big in St. Louis. I mean, you're already starting off the wrong foot. You're going to play in a dome, which you're not going to reach. You already don't plan on filling up. Maybe halfway filling up. You don't hire a name that a lot of St. Louis people know. Maybe Missouri people, maybe Kansas City Chiefs people because he played for the Chiefs and all that, but still. And then there's more stories coming about him here and there. He's a hard-nosed kind of guy. I can't remember what he exactly told the player, but it was something crazy. The shows that, hey, he's this kind of guy that's going to wants 110 out of every single player. And this is something that you hope bodes well for the city. We're like, hey, look, we're going to support this. And this could be before the MLS decision comes around. You're hopefully that comes around before that. But hey, look, we can build an XFL team here. Hey, look, you go build a soccer stadium for MLS St. Louis. And hey, we can move there. We'll bring more attractions to your stadium. And that's a hard thing to do with the way the MLS season runs. I mean, St. Louis FC plays from February to October. I seen that today and was like, does this season ever? Because I was looking through it. I could not believe how many games I was reading. But I think there also has to, what XFL's going to have to learn is something like, it seems like that they haven't had quite the social engagement you maybe think they're going to have. Make people think, remember, hey, the XFL's coming, hey, the XFL's coming, hey, the XFL's coming. Like if I was on Twitter and XFL St. Louis, I'm tweeting something every day. I don't care what it is. I don't care if I'm retweeting something from the XFL about, hey, we did this and we're doing this and we're doing this. But when I get a notification on my thing that says St. Louis, XFL St. Louis has tweeted for the first time in a while, I mean, that kind of, to me, brings down what you're trying to build here because you're not engaging with the fan base. You're not learning what the fan base wants or needs. They're kind of making their decisions, I think, without putting them on engagement as the fans, even though they're going to engage the fans with apps and this and that and all and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's something that hasn't started yet because your season hasn't started yet. I think you need to put more into the city, definitely with engaging the fans and learn what the fans want and learn the football that the fans want in St. Louis, and not just in St. Louis, but in New York or wherever they're at. And I don't watch the other XFL Twitters too often, if at all. And you can't just think, hey, it's great to have, we're playing football back in St. Louis. A team that's gotten their teams taken from them twice. And really, in the long run, both times we took it from ourselves with not engaging the least in the first place with the Rams and basically telling the Bidwells, hey, you're not getting shit from us. And that's why they went to Arizona. You've kind of put yourself in this position with the NFL teams if you're the city. And if I'm the XFL, you would have to think that that kind of alienated some fans towards football. Definitely for the ones that've been around. They've been strictly into football since the Cardinals left in 1987, out the year I was born. So I wasn't a big St. Louis Cardinals fan, but I know the history. I'm a sports fan. I looked into that stuff. With cardiac cards and all that. But I think you're doing the opposite. I think that you have to put some excitement into it. You gotta say, hey, we're doing this in St. Louis. Hey, we're trying to bring these people in. And I think there should be. I think St. Louis would be one of the teams that you should hire your personnel first, and you should engage. You should have these people engaging with the fans more. I think that Jonathan Hayes should have already been doing multiple interviews in St. Louis. I think he should have been on every sports radio show he could possibly been on in St. Louis. And I haven't heard him on the radio, and I don't listen to the radio much anymore. I'm mostly a podcast guy, and I do listen to St. Louis podcast. But I would even have him on random radio stations. I would have him on, being an African American gentleman as himself. I would have him being on 103 The Beat and 104.1 and what other stations they're ever rocking out. I think 95.5 is the R&B station now, or it might be, maybe they went back to Magic One. I don't know. Like I said, much radio, I know enough. But I think it's a fan base that's already alienated from football. That not engaging is almost like disengaging. Because you're putting yourself farther away. I mean, we're moving into the middle of June, July. This isn't that far away. We're at a point where we're 8 months away, basically. And we've essentially heard nothing. And do I want to succeed? Hell yeah. I would like to see more minor league teams succeed. I would love to still have the River Otters around. I would still love to have a team like the Swarm around. They were in a bad spot playing in St. Charles. We do have an ABA team, which a lot of people, and that's what I'm saying. I had to look to some of the stuff up to see the teams that we got here. The River Otters were more into it. They kind of got lucky with the strike and all that in the NHL at the time, but they still folded. I mean, the Swarm were winning championships and had a guy that everybody knew in Doug Smith, and they folded. Because I think that the fans you're not things that don't engage enough. And mostly with them teams, it's definitely because where they were in St. Charles and this and that, and people acting like driving across the bridge is like driving to your death. Which I used to be on the same boat, so I feel even when I lived in St. Charles, I didn't want to drive across to go to the. But I mean, St. Louis Ambush. I've never hit a River City Rascals thing. But I mean, if baseball survives in this town, there has to be something. It's not understandable to why no other sport can. And St. Louis FC has been around for a few years, and that's a different beast because it's something that the fans don't have. And you're hoping it's that way with the XFL team, but St. Louis FC is a lot more. I mean, you have the St. Louisans. You have this team going out here, and they're always tweeting, and sharing the ambush stuff and trying to get the ambush more involved with the people. And there's even players that play for the ambush that played for St. Louis FC. And basically what I'm getting at is not engaging is disengaging. To a fan base that's alienated against anything football. Definitely in a time where you could probably build it up because a lot of people are going to be watching sports. And maybe they're just letting it go right now, letting the Blues get their little thing. But the Cardinals are still promoting it. Let's go Blues and every other commercial and all that. I mean, if you're anywhere else, if you're any team minor league, Rascals should be, the FC should be, essentially every team in this area should be. I mean, if I'm in the Gateway Grizzlies over in Illinois, I'm riding this. Because they're almost considered more of a St. Louis general area team, we'll say. And I'm out on Facebook to see what ABA, the St. Louis team's doing, but they weren't doing much before. And like I think their Twitter is like it's got some random guy's name, but it's the Twitter for the St. Louis Spirit of the ABA. Not engaging is disengaging. Definitely when you haven't already alienated fan base. And we've had other things pass through. I mean, we had two teams a few years ago with the River Sharks and the Gateway Steam. And that whole league shut down, though. That's a whole different story. But it's proved that it can work here just with the Rascals. I mean, baseball's a whole different animal. And maybe you should maybe move a little bit more west because maybe people think, well, St. Charles ain't that much farther than Busch Stadium. Or St. Charles ain't that much farther than Scottrade, depending on where you live. Or, hey, I want to see the real thing. I live in St. Charles, On a crappy day, it's maybe an hour to get down there. Or I can park somewhere and have to ride a Metrolink, which is the scary thing nowadays more than driving down there. I mean, it's kind of scary for people that walk around there at night, but people still go. And you're in St. Charles, I mean, you hardly hear anything bad, which, drugs are taking over everywhere, so it's getting worse almost everywhere. But I just don't think there's enough promotion. I mean, I went to a WWE event there. Scottrade and it was packed, and then I went to you see something else like that, like a UFC fight or something, or MMA fight or something like that, and it's just you don't really hear about the promotion. The free ticket thing I was putting up somewhere, and I think like the River City Attack, they were just putting free tickets over there. Their thing was called Free Tickets Enterprises Incorporated or something like that. Free entertainment, free ticket entertainment, where they're basically handing out free tickets for the. I mean, at least you try to be somewhat engaging by chopping up your tickets at gas stations and stuff like that. But you gotta do it like where people see it. And that's on Facebook and Twitter. And I didn't really follow them on Facebook either, but I checked them every now and then, and they were doing basically the same thing. But essentially, I hope it works. I want to see football in St. Louis. I would love to go in that dome and have fun and hear it somewhat loud, even though it's only half filled. But people are excited to have football in St. Louis. But I think you have to be more engaging with the fan base that's going to be alienated. So hopefully Johnson Hayes is a great hire, and hopefully you see more guys come in that has something to do with St. Louis, the Isaac Bruce of the world, Aeneas Williams of the world, maybe somebody like a Torrey Holt or Orlando Pace. Just something that can get the city excited about football coming back to St. Louis. All right, that's going to do it. For Lori, R.I.P. For Grandma Bowlesby, I love you, R.I.P. For Grandma Hicks, I love you too. And for Jake, Maddie, Zach, Amanda, and Joe, this has been the Sports Blog, only on the Greater STL Sports Network.